for the last 2 years, I've made many videos about Tiffany Henyard. You know, she's been all over the tabloids, from her local Dalton, Illinois, to national to international. I mean, people in Kazakhstan know about Tiffany Henyard. That's how much publicity this has been getting, right? And Tiffany Henyard still has a following. Now, she ran for office and she lost. Right? Remember, she was the mayor of a small town in Dalton, Illinois, right outside Chicago, and she was also the supervisor of the township, right? And she had her dusty husband. She had a bunch of weirdo followers. It was just a whole bunch of stuff going on, right? They had a guy that was on the board that was accused of SA. She was accused of stealing money. The feds was there. It was just a whole bunch of stuff, right? And everybody was commenting on Miss Henyard, right? But now there's a woman that's also commenting, but this woman is commenting not just on Tiffany Henyard, but ghetto culture. But the woman that's commenting on ghetto culture was in a porn called Ghetto Gaggers, right? And she's been going in on the black community for some time now, right? I mean, this woman went by the name Miracle when she did porn. And fellas out there, she was a 3-hole woman, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I mean, back then when a lot of black women wasn't even doing that, she was definitely a 3-hole woman, right? And then she went by the name Miracle, right? And she was hardcore with it, right? But this is the stuff that she's saying on line right now. Check this out.
America, it's time to be honest. Racism is not the problem. Ghetto culture is. Recently, we're seeing an epidemic of extremely ghetto people being in charge of government offices. Case in point, Tiffany Henyard. That woman is so ghetto that she can barely make coherent sentences to her constituents, even while being broadcasted live on TV. And she knows she's being broadcasted live on TV. If Black America and the state of Illinois thinks that this is what we call Black excellence, we have a problem. And it's ghetto culture. Another issue that's happening is a bunch of ghetto Black men have been running around attacking white women. And everybody's trying to brush it under the rug and act like it's, oh, don't say that, it's racist. No, let's be honest. Ghetto culture promotes violence against women, so it's no shock that it's a bunch of Black men running around attacking women.
And this is the woman talking about ghetto Black culture. Now, mind you, whenever you hear women talk like this, women or men talk like this about the community and ghetto Black culture, I guarantee you that they have some type of trauma in their background. They have some type of trauma where it's never been dealt with, and it comes out as hate, right? It's easy to hate the people that you... Listen, the woman has some trauma, and we're going to prove it. We're going to show it, right? But she wasn't finished. She was doubling down on some of the stuff that she was saying by saying this.
It's been 0 days since there's been any nonsense going on in America. 2 students were just awarded $1 million after they were falsely accused of wearing blackface and then kicked out of a California Catholic school. Let's get right to the point. It's time that America move on from blackface, and I mean being offended by it. That is the equivalent of somebody calling you a poo-poo head. It's not a real issue. It's not actual government corruption or oppression.
What?
See, she's saying it's time to move on from blackface and don't think that it's a problem. That's because Sharika Souls don't know her history. She doesn't know anything about blackface. She doesn't know people like Mordecai Noah and how he was the father of the black, basically the minstrel show. She doesn't know the way our image was portrayed. She doesn't fully understand that. See, it's easy to forgive them and blame us for everything. She doesn't understand the social engineering that she's even under. She doesn't know because our people are sick. And when I read some of the tweets and things that she's doing, you'll start to understand why she's the way she is, right? So she's not forgiving towards us because in her mind, we're the worst, we're the scum, we're the worst people. So she has to divest and run over to them. And these are the people that have historically done the things to our communities, right? And one of the main reasons why is the way it is, right? But she wasn't finished. Listen to this.
What that was. But yeah, so I just got kicked off my TikTok live because black men are losers who can't dish out, can't handle what they dish out. Okay, so I came over here to see if I can go live here. Yeah, so they kicked me out of my TikTok live because the ghetto tards cannot handle what they dish out. Okay, specifically the men, and they didn't like what I had to say. And since I'm not going to be silenced, I decided to come over here and say it here. Okay, think it's really pathetic that we have a whole entire group of people, specifically Black men, who find their actions in America, their abuse of their children, their abandonment of their children, their violence, their chaos, as some sort of character flaw.
So she likes to talk down on Black men, right? And mind you, this woman is a single mom, made a single mom by a W man, right? But she can forgive that. But I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna show you why some of the things that she can't forgive. And those that know me on my old channels, the way I would teach before I came over to this type of content, I broke all this stuff down years ago, right? So this has me back in my bag, right? But you always had grifters in the community like a Tiffany Henyard or Umar Johnson or people like that, right? And these are people that come and they're real charismatic. They talk and make it seem like they love the Black community and love Black people, right? They don't really talk down on the people because they're from the community. They just have character flaws, right? A lot of them have character flaws. This woman is making her bones talking down on the community as if she's better than somebody, right? And she's running over it to our historical oppressors. She's running over there to them as if they're the standard of equality or the standard of goodness or whatever you want to call it, right? So so when you look at a person like a Tiffany Henyard is somebody that shouldn't have never been in office in the first place. She's a direct reflection of the people in power in that community when you maybe have corruption. That's how she got there, because she wasn't qualified to hold the seat anyway, but she got there anyway. Umar Johnson is a guy that's highly educated, a great orator, but peeped the weakness in the game, and he likes to exploit certain things, right? But let's listen to what Tiffany Henyard said. Let's listen to something Tiffany Henyard would say, and we'll come right back.
Our residents do love me despite fake news not showing the good that I do in the community, because I do a ton of good. But y'all just painted me as bad news for 4 years.
So Sharika Souls, Miss Three Holes, Miss Ghetto Gagger herself, she was on Twitter, some time ago on the 13th of February. She wrote, also, I hate being Black. Always have and always will. So that's already one red flag, right? Well, she hate being Black, right? If I don't care what my Black family members think of my public statements, please understand I don't give a F about ghetto Black strangers being mad. I tell the truth about the Black community. Now, mind you, she says she hate being Black. So the Black community don't just consist of ghetto. There's a percentage, because every community has their ghetto if you go around the world, right? But remember, she's suffering from some type of trauma. Use your brain. The community is infested with pedos. There you go. With pedos, child abusers, and anti-white hate, right? So we already know that she's psychologically dealing with something, right? Right, let's keep going. I hate being adopted because I'm forced to listen to Black people pretend they are victims while I know the truth. So now she was adopted. She's talking about pedos in the community and anti-white hate, right? The stereotype has become a reality for Black people, and it's why so many don't progress, right? So she's using these type of talking points, right? She's using these type of talking points. So let's get to this part. She said, I'm so tired of retarded FBA Blacks in my mentions. The reason I don't like you is because I watch you lie. None of you have ever met me or my family members calling me African when I was born in Chicago to a 13-year-old. Okay, so she was born to a 13-year-old, right? She's talking about the pedos, and she talks about all the traumas, right? See, this right, now we understand how she got to the porn. She was adopted, born to a 13-year-old. She has all kinds of traumas. She's talking about pedos being infested in the community. And when a woman starts talking like that, you already know that that's a dog whistle, a signal for what happened to her and how she ended up being a three-hole girl with W men feeding her watermelon on her head, right? So we already know what's going on, right? Which is why I'm adopted. If I were African, I would. I'm critical of ghetto culture in Black society because I find it annoying that Black American image is Ebonic speaking thug or a violent woman or welfare who can't speak clear. So if that's the case, what is the W man's culture? Because we know his history and his culture. So again, a lot of I'll say this at the end, right? Black people as a collective do not care about their lives or their communities. I'm tired of racism being used to gaslight, whatever, all right? So now, with that being said, you had another woman, right, that came on that saw Sharika Souls, and she gave her opinion. She said this.
But I was scrolling through Twitter today, and a tweet that she had posted yesterday was going viral, and it said, "I hate being black, and I always have." Now, if that's not crazy enough, because mind you, this is my first impression of the woman, okay? Never heard of her, never seen her before today, right? But that's what the tweet said, and if that wasn't crazy enough, someone, I think you call it quote tweeted her, like where you respond to someone's tweet. They tweeted back at her, and they said, "Oh, trust me, we know." Now, before we go any further, I want to preface this by saying, I do not know all the rules and laws surrounding revenge porn. I do not know all the laws and rules when it comes to like reposting someone's sexually explicit content. So I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to sit up here and potentially set myself up for a lawsuit. So I'm just going to have to try to describe to you guys what I saw instead of posting a screenshot of what I saw, right? And if you would like to potentially see it for yourself, go on Twitter, type in Sharika Soal, SharikaSoal, and it should pop up for you, okay? But the person tweeted back at her and said, "Oh, trust me, we know." And it was a collage of 2 pictures, right? So the first picture was what I am assuming to be the cover of a book that Sharika had put out at one point or another, right? It looked like the cover of a book. It was like a headshot photo of her. She was in a black suit jacket. She had her hair braided. She looked very nice on the cover, right? That was the first picture in the collage. And then the second picture in the collage was a screenshot from a corn video. As if it's not crazy enough that Miss Sophistication has allegedly starred in a corn video in the past, right? It not only was a corn video, but it was an interracial race play corno where she was on her hands and knees being force-fed a piece of watermelon by a white man. On Black History Month? Really?
We say this in our communities, right? You know, you had people of the past that wrote racist things about us and how to break the N-word and how to destroy the community. And I've done lectures on when Black Power was a global phenomenon and how the federal government created ghettos. I wrote all this kind of stuff. But one thing that we have to understand in reparations, right? With all the things that happen to us, the one thing that has to be repaired is our minds, the trauma that we've been through. There's a psychological effect that comes with that, and we don't realize that. We've been conditioned to hate our reflection because we was always told we was less than. We wasn't worthy enough. Coming out of slavery and out of the Jim Crow South, we brought a lot of things out that was never dealt with in our communities, man. And it caused a lot of trauma to young girls and boys. There was a lot of horrible things that Big Mama went through and Big Daddy went through that they didn't talk about. And when you see a woman like this, she's a direct reflection of this. Being born to a 13-year-old woman talking about pedos being infested in the community and all these type of different things, she's conditioned because from a young age, everything that happened to her from somebody that looked like her. So she doesn't understand the totality of our story and what we've been through. She just understands that her trauma has come from black people. So now she has a hatred towards black people. And when she ran over there to white folks, right, she was already just wanting to acquiesce and be around them. That's why she has the way she talks is so fake. It's so fake. And she can allow the white man to do these things, the W man to do these things to her and put a watermelon on her head and do all those type of things. But when it comes to us, oh no, there is no forgiveness. Because the people that she entrusted to protect her came with pain. She was hurt. She was hurt. And I talk about this all the time. We can learn. Instead of me criticizing this woman, I can learn from this woman. I can study the psychology and the mindset of this woman. Because there's a lot of women and men that think like her. Because in their young, impressionable ages, they were hurt by black people that look like them. So their vitriol goes to black people. They don't understand the conditions that we were placed in and things that's never been dealt with and how we now do these things to each other that was once done to us. And it's a sad thing, man, but it's the aspect of warfare and why reparations is needed for our community, because we need more than just economic reparations. We need therapeutic reparations. We need we need our minds back. Because this right here, I mean, she don't realize that people can see her. And the other group, the W man and them, they don't really accept her like that. They know her story. She's not accepted by them. And she's not happy. But this thing, man, it is what it is, man. I'm going to cut this video short right here. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV. Leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Remember, I love y'all. Till next time, peace.